Hello and welcome to Geekatplay Studio Tutorials. So let's look at this tutorials a bit more working with splines and see what options and properties we have. So for this, I'm going to just create a simple sphere. So I'll move a little bit away. Okay. I'm going to also enable my timeline. We'll add keyframe. Okay, let me move the time. We'll add a keyframe to this point. We'll go to 1 second. Okay, we'll take our, maybe move kind of in the middle, put it down, and move to another second, going up and increasing up. So this is very simple animation, and we can kind of preview with our, so we have a ball kind of almost changing. Okay, but what if I want to actually, when ball hit the middle, so we'll go to this point. Okay, right here, I want to actually shrink it. So normal, what I'll do, I'll go and I'll shrink the ball so it's kind of bounced. But again, I don't want them shrink at this point, so I want to actually go right here and unshrink it. Okay, but now if I'm going forward, you notice it's kind of almost sinking right here in the ground. But at this right here, actually, I want to unsink. I want to make it taller. Maybe put it. So, but you notice we start having problem with this spine line. Okay, maybe right there. We'll go a little bit right here and right there. Okay. So what's happening, you will notice at a second, our ball, for example, this time right here, you can see for some reason it just started expanding. And reason is why, because if we select, we don't even see it, but spine line, obviously something has changed there. So when I work with this, sometimes it's hard to see because you don't see any changes. It's best to go inside the spine line and start working with them, see what's happening and going on there. First, let's just expand. So we have it right here, our sphere. Next, we'll expand the spine line. We'll select our sphere. And you notice we have all these different properties that can be animated. A couple things what I want to look is obviously was something with the size. And when I enable right here instantly, I can see a spike where I don't want it. So if we move right this point right here, you can see spike in a size and specifically in a Z. So it's going way high. Our X and Y, it's look okay. So Z is spiking and it's going down how I want it. So this is work okay, except to right this point, I need to fix it. And problem right now is using curve weighted type of format. So I want to switch this to linear to make it straightforward. Let's first isolate our Z size. So I'm just selecting this point. Next, I'm going and select, right click on this curve, and let's switch to linear. You notice at this point we have it straight. Let's maybe bring this a little bit up. So let me zoom in. So you can see I'm kind of adjusting so it will be one single same size. We still have it our lines that we can modify if we want it. But for this, I'm just leaving here. And if we preview at this point, you can see we have it exactly the same size coming. And it's hitting very fast right here, squished, expanding once, kind of squishing. So it's working now more proper. At this point, the size, you will notice Z sphere is look a little bit different from what we have. So we can actually take this point. Let me go ahead. Right here, we have two of them. So we can actually remove one. We can isolate it one. Okay, again, just start creating. So let's go ahead. Disable after keying. Okay, we'll go bring all this line down to our same size. So at this point, you can see we have it exactly same size. So we'll fix it in our curve by adjusting. However, one thing you will notice, be sure you disable sometimes after keying. It's nice when you're creating, but when you start working with spine, you probably want to disable at this point so you don't create accidentally one. However, if you wanted to create this, you always can move to the point where you want it, right, just click and add keyframe to this point. Okay. Okay, so we look on some Z options. We have this. Also, let's look right now on a positioning. Inside the positioning, you'll notice right here, we have it going our Z index up and down. We have it our X, which is going linear, and we have it our Y. Y, which is come closer to our camera, it's fine. Again, right here, if we look on our Z ones, kind of right here, I don't leave it like it, this curve, and let's look. So right at this point, one frame, it's kind of acting a bit funny. So let's go ahead, isolate it first. And isolations help us not to grab key from another lines, and we can kind of maybe leave it adjusting, bring it smoother. Let's look on the velocity slightly, adjusting so you can see or bring a little bit better. So this maybe, you know what, this is our 0 point, so and it's a little bit higher. So let's see if we can put it down slightly. Okay, and be sure it's kind of smaller adjustment. So we have right this point. Okay, again, that center point is the center of our arm, so just readjusting right around here. So we can tweak a little bit better in this case with spines. So readjusting. Let's go our next. Let's increase this one a little bit higher, so it's kind of jump almost very fast. Yep. And again, we can bring it one closer so the jump on the ball will be a little bit more visible, kind of faster. Okay, and you notice again we modified our key for position on a Z. So if we look on other ones, our key still be like getting on previous portion. So we can isolate a special keyframe for properties like X, Y, and Z, and make those movements just in specific area, just tweak them to specific times. Okay, here's position. We don't have the rotation, but we have our orientation. We have our twist, pivot point, and we have our animation for the material if any animation is applied. And if we look, we don't have it at this point any animations for our materials. Okay, also you'll notice on the side we look before, we have it filters that may apply directly to our size or position if we have it. So we can go and modify what type of the filter we want applied, or also if we want to link to any additional functions. So in this way you can adjust slightly keyframe. Let's do one thing, so just one overview also till we here. So normally we have a numerical input. It's in case if you don't want drag, you just can click and put it by the time and specifically by keyframe, velocity, and positioning tensions. So it's kind of very nice. So all by numbers. You can predefine, use it by smooth velocity, weighted, easy in and out, linear. It's what we use it for straight steps, or if you want to customize your own. As well, we have additional options how we want smooth in or out. So example right here, if you notice two of these ends, there was kind of on a smooth weighted. So if we can switch linear, you notice one and now it's working as linear. Okay, and one it will be used as a weighted. So it's kind of nice in this case. You can specify on which one you want it. Again, if you need to go, can go back and modify this as we need it. Okay, we also have options for the curves if we want to zoom to the time, value, or event. Okay, so here's spine lines. Okay, of course we can render preview very fast to just see what we did it. Okay, and it does help us to see positioning where we are currently with timeline right this moment right here. That's helpful. But in many cases, I find out the normal preview works just as well. So when I open to save time, normally I'm using selecting objects and curves the objects. If you also need it, you can readjust to make it bigger or smaller size, whatever it's work best for you. Okay, at any time you always can just maximize one screen and work with curves this way to apply it so you can preview your animations that you modified and adjusted based on your curves. Thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio. Please remember visit us on the web is www.geekatplay.com.